All right, welcome to another session with the Better One of Sports. Time for us to delve into some talking points in football. We've got a lot of couple for you, but first off, let's start off with this one. Why is the Bundesliga attractive for a lot of young English talent? I mean, we've seen that trend over the years. The big one that would happen now is younger brother to Jude Bellingham, Jobe Bellingham. He will be moving to Borussia Dortmund. It will be costing more than his brother a couple of years ago. But, the trend has been there for a lot of times. Young English players going to the Bundesliga. I mean, Sancho and Bellingham being the pick of the bunch. But we've seen, Emil Smith-Rowe at some time, Reece Nelson. We've seen Callum Hudson-Odoi and some other English players who've made that move to the Bundesliga. So what's attractive for these young English players moving to the German Bundesliga in their respective careers at a young age?
First thing is the fact that in Germany, the media push is not there like you have in the Premier League and in other places. That's one. Two, if you notice very well, the Bundesliga is programmed for young people more than for older people. Even though it caters for everybody, the Bundesliga gives you more playing time as a young player, and it develops certain aspects of your game compared to in England, for instance. Phil Foden came out one full season, player of the season, and then the following season, everybody expects him to just perform miracle. No more development, no more special training, no more improvement. Everything is now on him. In the Bundesliga, it's not like that. The Bundesliga gives you that opportunity to grow at your own sustained pace. Look at Coleman, Serge Gnabry. When he was at Arsenal, he went to West Bromwich Albion and he was told that he can't play football, wasn't good enough. But then he went to Germany, they integrated him gradually and he won the Champions League. So when you look at the way it is in Germany, I think for the Germans, they train you to play football. Same way in Spain as well. That's why academy players in Spain, for instance, easily graduate into senior team in the biggest team in the world. Imagine La Masia Product playing for Barcelona. Same with the Madrid academy team back in the day.
Castilla.
The Castellas. But if you look at the English Premier League, no matter how good you are, look at Inter Nwaneri. Miles Lewis-Kelly is playing regularly for Arsenal because players are injured. The very minute those injured players come in, they don't trust them anymore because of too much pressure. I remember there was a time when as Mikel Arteta played a young player, they said he was just playing the player to hold the record of having played the youngest player. That's the kind of media that can destroy your desire to take a risk. But if you do that in the German Bundesliga, for instance, it's not a big deal. So I think it is that one thing, and then the fact that you get to play more regularly. Nwaneri was playing well, even better than Martin Odegaard for Arsenal. But the very minute Bukayo Saka came, they didn't decide based on form. It was just straight to the bench. And it happens in quite a lot of the Premier League clubs, unless those ones that probably don't have a big squad are, stuck with the kind of players that they have, like in the case of Leon Delap and Ipswich and Kopama, and some of the other younger players. But when it comes to young players playing for big teams in England, it's hard. Manchester United, this you give them credit, is the only club that have traditionally played young players, give them chance if their attitude is right, if their form is right, and they keep playing, they play them regularly. But the rest teams want to play that one big player, want to go sign one, big name player and bring them in. Mikhailo Modric, for instance, that Chelsea signed. I always ask myself, so you're telling me that you put 89 million on Mikhailo Modric, you don't have a player in your academy that can run the wings that can give you just exactly what Mikhailo Modric brings. But that's the way it is in England. If that was a Borussia Dortmund or a Leverkusen or even a Bayern Munich, a player like Mikhailo Modric, first check within their youth rank if there is a player like that. Most of the time when they sign players is because that player comes in to complete the team, not necessarily because, we're desperate, we must go and win, we must prove something to the press. They don't do that in the Bundesliga. They do total development. In 2023, I was in Germany, and I kind of asked this question indirectly, not in the way you're putting it, and they said it's football. The first thing you do in football is not just to win. Winning is good, it brings money, but you have to focus on development. Because and the guy that was speaking with me last at the time said Borussia Dortmund that doesn't win the Bundesliga all the time, they make more money than some teams who win the league regularly wherever they are. It seemed like Benfica in the last 10 years have made 1.4 billion out of transfer. Seemed like Dortmund in the last 10 years have made over $1 billion out of transfer. Some of these clubs who wants to play the biggest players every week in, week out are not making that kind of money. So if I'm not winning trophy and I'm making good money, you don't ever hear that they are having financial fair play issues. But these ones who wants to sign the big players, who think that you shouldn't give the young players a chance to play, they are always the ones who getting into the financial fair play issues, and also having their coaches being under pressure for having spent so much and not won anything. I think that football has to go back to that stage where young players are allowed to play the ball, express themselves in the game, and then when it gets to the place where, okay, you want to put some extra, like in the Ronaldo, the Messi's, the Mbappe kind of level, then you put those extra. But football should be played for the fun of it. I know it's big money, but it should be played for the fun of it, instead of using certain kind of amount of money, like Memphis Depay said, that when he signed for Manchester United, the kind of money he was earning almost made it feel like he's retired, because when he started playing football, one day he thought like that's the money he will get when he has finished playing maybe for 20 years. But then he came to Manchester United and he got that money at once. He didn't even know what he was playing for anymore. And when these players say it, we laugh at them, but it's the truth. There's a kind of money you would get, the motivation to wake up in the morning to go do your job will no longer be there. There's also the kind of media pressure, and I say this because I also put people under pressure, but in the work that we all do, there's a kind of pressure you will get. You start asking yourself, should I continue this or should I just leave it? Is it all this? Is this thing that we're doing that we started? Don't forget that football is not like school where you know that you're pursuing a career, a living. Football started out for you as fun. Nobody told you at grassroots level that this thing that you're doing is going to turn into 100 million, 200 million. If somebody now wakes up and decides, okay, I want to spend 100 million pounds on you, it's on them, not me. Now, to not expect me to, live up to that expectation is a problem. It's different when, in the case of, say, somebody like Osimhen, you're not demanding for XYZ. When they pay you that money, my brother, you better perform, because you demanded for it. There's something special you think you're bringing. But when it comes to youth players, I think that the German Bundesliga allows you to be you, to be yourself, correct you little by little, put you under no pressure, allow you to grow, and then you enjoy the game as you're going. That's why you look at players like Thomas Muller. Those players that play in the Bundesliga, they kind of like enjoy. If you follow Bundesliga, they kind of like enjoy the game more than the players that play in England. Because if you look in England, two things happen. Once you fall off the title race, you don't give it what you normally would give it when you're still in title race. Once you've also survived relegation, it's no problem anymore. And then what is now left is those qualification placements of whether you qualify for Champions League or you play in Europe or the Europa Cup or the Conference League. So it's kind of like different. The English league is a media league anyway. It's different from a real football league where the focus is on football. So long story short, in the Bundesliga, you get more playing time than you get in the Premier League.
You're still on this same issue. I mean, given the fact that the strength and exposure that the Premier League brings, let's focus on Bellingham Jr.'s move to Dortmund. I mean, Sunderland promoted to the Premier League, and this is a young guy forfeiting Premier League football. The exposure, the media, the exposure it gives you as a young player, leaving that aside to go to a Borussia Dortmund side in the Bundesliga. Do you see this being a good move? Maybe not to the heights of Bellingham's move, the Jude Bellingham that we're talking about. So is it going to be a good decision for Jobe Bellingham, giving away Premier League football with Sunderland to the German Bundesliga with Borussia Dortmund?
Anybody who have the opportunity to swap Sunderland, not Premier League, just Premier League now, Sunderland for Borussia Dortmund, 1997 Champions League winners. They recently were in the finals of the Champions League. They've won the Bundesliga. They won the DFB Pokal. Against playing for Sunderland. First off, Dortmund will pay you more. Dortmund also is the German Bundesliga is the second or the highest supported league in the world in terms of in stadium attendance. The highest attendance in football, in the football world, and then is also among the top 5 leagues. When you say the Premier League, you really think that there will be more spotlight on Sunderland, apart from the 6 big games that they will play over 2 legs, which is 12 games, compared to a Borussia Dortmund team that
or maybe they might likely get relegated at first attempt.
And then Sunderland might likely go back down, because the Premier League is becoming harder and harder and harder every day. Only few teams in the last 10 years have come up and stayed. Some stay 1 year, Leicester, and then they go down. Former champions. In 2016, they were champions. So when you look at all of that, I would jump at the opportunity to play in the German Bundesliga a million times for Borussia Dortmund ahead of staying with Sunderland, because so many things could go wrong with Sunderland, and then you go back again to that struggle of the championship, because the championship is a rat race. It's very, very difficult for you to come up. People make it look like it's easy. 24 teams battling to come up. It's not as easy as it is. So it's a no-brainer to take the Bundesliga. And then when you've had a brother who's gone through that route and now he's playing for Madrid. 5 years ago, if you tell Jude Bellingham that he would play for Madrid, but this time, and he would have won the Champions League and won the La Liga, I'm not sure he would agree. It's Jude Bellingham is not really. I won't put him as a world-class player. I won't put Jude Bellingham as a player that I expect to see win the Premier League or win any league title. But look at where it's been. If he didn't follow that route, it won't work. And in life, you follow patterns. If a working pattern is what you follow. Jadon Sancho played in the finals of Champions League with Borussia Dortmund, even though he didn't win it. Jude Bellingham went that route, and then he went to Madrid, and then he played in the Champions League finals and won it, and player of the season. He was even in discussion for Ballon d'Or. You think if he was playing for Birmingham, he left Birmingham, right? If he were playing for Birmingham, he would still be in Championship. They wouldn't have gotten promoted to the Premier League. It would still be struggling to be or not to be. Wouldn't even get the media attention that the players are playing in the Premier League gets. And then if you look at Sunderland, I'm telling you for free that nobody's going to put the spotlight on Jobe, what's his name? Bellingham. Nobody's going to put attention on him. So every day I'll jump on that train. That train is a good one.
It's always going to be a tough decision for young players moving away from their comfort zone to test themselves.
Football is a game of movement. That's even on the field. You move from one position to the other. So, and when you're young, you've got nothing to lose. You're not set. There's no marriage, no children in school. This is it. There's school why I mentor. I tell people that when you're young, look for money, travel. If you can't travel out of your country, travel around the states in your country. I know that it's insecurity, but go to the ones that are safe. Go and see things. Don't the warm spring in Ikogosi. Go and see it now. Because when you start having children, every travel requires that you carry your entire family, and it might be difficult. Go see things now. Go see the world. See the world and the people that are in the world, so that you don't have this myopic view of the world. So he's a young man. It's a great opportunity for him to travel, go see another league, go get experience somewhere else, and become a better man for it. I mean, playing in one league, I'm not a fan of playing in one league anyway.
Yeah.
So going to other places and see the world and have things work in different places is better.
Well, we wish Jobe Bellingham all the best in that move. Sunderland's most expensive signing, if he pulls through, moving away above.
Most expensive transfer.
Yeah, most expensive transfer, rather. That's the word.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.